And here we are. Okay, let's try if this works better, because we had the graphic problem that we had last week, and I just put one little box and it caused the effect, but now it should be working. So I just closed the stream and restarted, so you might actually miss 1 or 2 minutes because of the delay. I didn't want to make it again, because I have a hand going on, so I wanted to get back as soon as possible. So it's up again. Here is the chat. It's up again. And this is another table where we are just going to play against the Finnish player. So I'm going to sit out on this table too and try to find the full tables. There's one new thing about the microgaming lobby. You can see it here. What happens is that when you check the table, it doesn't show you the players, so you can't hunt for the fish anymore. So I hope the stream is working. Everyone is saying in the chat that it doesn't work. What? Oh dear. He got a monotone board with the cut shot. Well, that's nice. So I'm going to put myself into the waiting stuff. Here we get one spot. Okay. And let's try to find the fourth one. There isn't the fourth one on PLO 10. So now the question is, do we open PLO 20 or do we go to PLO 4? I think we're going to open PLO 20. And let's see, because if we lose a buy-in, then I drop to PLO 4, because then we are risking quite a lot of money, but I think PLO 20 is better than PLO 4. Of course, the fact that you can't see the players on the table on these PLO games doesn't matter, because there's like 3 tables open on PLO 10, so it doesn't matter if you know that people them in it or not, because you don't have any options to table select. And this Finnish player is on every table. Here he's just moved up in every open table, so he's probably not our target player. And what do we have on table 1? Yeah, it's good enough to open. Huh. Why can't I choose the 3x sizing? Strange. Tried to open to 30 cents, but came up as a min raise. Here someone 3-bets, we call and we flop something, and now we just want to get maximum value. Why can't I choose this one? Sucks. And he just check folds on that flop. It's... wow, that's horrible. And here this guy 3-bets us. Do we have his stats on? Not even here. Wow. I have played a lot with him. Probably all the hands are from PLO 4. But he's pretty wild, so I think even 4-bet is an option here. Either we call and play if we hit something, or we can 4-bet him. But let's take it easy. Of course, here we stack off. And he checks behind, which is kind of strange. And folds, wow. No idea what he can have when he just check folds. Because if he totally misses the board, why not make a c-bet? Well, yeah, it's nice that he folds those. Interesting to see where his stats come down when we have slightly more hands on him. Wow, we are not in this table. Why not? Huh. Strange. No, we should be on each of those tables. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, we checked. Damn. Well, now I'm going to bet when he checks. This PLO, wow. Everyone just leaves as soon as I click the table, and I'm playing with this Rapula Kanuna. I don't like it. The thing is that the traffic is so bad. Like, if I want to play PLO 20, we have 3 tables open now. 4. And in PLO 10, we have just 3 tables. So we are probably going to move back to Poker Stars at some point during the spring. Here on table 4, I'm going to value bet the turn. He has a lot of draws and worse hand in his range. And river, if he bets, I think it's a decent spot to bluff catch depending on his bet sizing. And I'm just going to sit out here. Yeah, the traffic here on microclaiming is pretty bad, and I can understand it on Wednesday, but sometimes on Friday it's hard to find 4 tables, and there's no possibility of table select. So we might move back to stars at some point. Who knows? And as always, if you have any questions, please use the chat, or if you are watching it on the Twitch, please use the Twitch chat. And when you comment about the hands or make a question about the hand, please say the table number 1, 2 on the top, 3, 4 on the bottom. Say the table and what was my hand. So then I can find the hand from the replay or hand history or whatever. Because we have around 2-minute delay for security reasons. So if you just comment about what did you fold on table 3, I have no idea what hand you are talking about. And I'm not sure about international stuff, but in Finland we have National Joke Day, as Kauri said. The 1st of April is the day when we can make pranks and jokes to anyone. Not sure if that's a good idea, but that's what we can do. So if you want to make a show, today is a good day for it. Oh, I had to sneeze. If you have any topics in mind about PLO, about poker, now we have plenty of time today to discuss about it, because it seems that we just can't open fourth table, because I don't want to open PLO 20 with this bankroll, and PLO 10 we just can't get to it. Here we have overpair. I'm going to bet it. He's going to fold quite often here. Now we are probably beat on the river when the flush comes there. And we just fold. Full tilt, I don't like to rake at full tilt. Because I don't know why full tilt would be better than Poker Stars, except that full tilt has higher rate. So I much rather play at Poker Stars when we can table select as much as we want. AC is on table 1. Let's see what happens, and we flop the nuts, which is always nice. And we bet and we hope someone does something stupid. And we have the nuts on the turn, which is nice. Now we actually bet bigger, because he's kind of calling station. And he shoves, which is nice, while having a set of 7s and the flush draw. So we double up with 78% equity. Woo! First flip home! Why did we sit out there? Yeah. Timer. Why can't I choose the clock here? Does it come when the timer goes to red? I don't know. Oh, now it comes. When you have 10 seconds, you can click the timer. I hate it. I like that at Poker Stars you can click timer and it starts when your initial timer goes down. But here, if I have 10 seconds and I press the timer, it immediately starts to use my time bank. And here, PLO 20 is dying. I want to play 3-handed. Now we have double straight. We have 6-3 and we have 6-8 and we have 2 backdoor flush draws. I think I'm going to call and then raise the turn. Of course, that kind of sucks. Because now we actually might have the straight. We might have 8-9. I was hoping for a safe turn. And he fought, so he didn't have anything. So raising the flop would give us the same profit anyway. Okay, the next try. Let's try this one. Not sure what has happened with microgaming, but PLO is running pretty poorly. I'm going to call here just to see the flop. Our hand is not good enough, but we have a nitty that we are not that worried about. We have wild player and we have a shorty. And he bets half a pot. We have gut shot and a flush draw and some backdoors. I'm going to call one street and then we make the flush. I'm going to donk versus this one. He's not going to bet pot. If he has a set or two pairs, he's going to call me. And he folds, which kind of sucks. Here, oh, he's calling stays. Oh dear. I'm not going to barrel against him. He's call happy. Goes to showdown happily. Here I'm going to triple barrel this shorty unless I hit something. And now he raises me on the turn. So he probably has 7-9. Against 7-9 we have around 11 outs. 22-24%, so we need to win 16 or something, and the pot would be 13. No. Almost have the odds versus his stack, but it's so close. So if he has any flush draws in his range, we can't call versus him. Now we... oh yeah, we can play. And I'm going to just isolate this one. Yeah, the button to get the time back is besides my timer. It's here, pretty small one, and it is visible only, it comes to here when I have 10 seconds or less. And here we're going to stack off. And turn is interesting because now we have the nuts. I think I'm going to bet half a pot, which looks like I have aces and I don't know what to do, and he folds. Bummer. And our calling station keeps calling. When he calls the flop, he probably has either flush draw or an ace. So, not much folding equity. And if he bets, he can have the pot. And now, the same thing has happened twice. We bet the flop and check the turn and fold the river. If he keeps doing it that a lot, then we can adjust, but 52-16. Not sure if he's just running us over and making some really floats with air out of position. That's not probable. Ace King Jack then, it's such a strong hand that I'm just going to bloat the pot. Because versus these call happy players, if we hit something we often dominate them. And the hand is pretty strong. Like here we can just shove. Against any two pairs we have a lot of equity. And we definitely should have folding equity against like open-ender or pair plus something. And they fold, we pick up the nice pot. There are some questions on Twitch chat. Yeah, there's someone advertising, and Kyyberi is asking what's my regular limits in PLO. That's a hard one to answer. Because for the last 4 months or so, 90% of my poker playing has been on these coaching sessions, which are between PLO 10 and PLO 25. Because I'm doing my practical learnings with my studies, and it takes a lot of time. I'm working like full day job without any payments, so I don't have time to play poker outside coachings, working and schoolwork. So my normal limits now are these ones. When I had time to play, I played PLO 50 most of the time. Here on table 2 we have the nuts with the redraw. So I'm just going to raise and get people with draws to come along, and if someone has ace jack, we are just free rolling them with pretty nice equity. And we just keep betting. He probably has a set or a flush draw. And here we're going to 3-bet. I'm just going to call. And we hit overpair and flush draw. I'm going to stack off here because we don't know anything about his 3-bet range. And if he has aces, we have 11 outs and some backdoors. And now our flush draw is alive, which is a nice thing, but we don't make it. And we had 41% on the flop on a 3-way pot, which is huge. So it's a good stack off. Artemis is asking that if I need that rotating image. No, it doesn't give me the time back. When I have 10 seconds, the rotating image goes to clock. And then I can use my time back next to my avatar. Like here on table 4, I'm going to show you. Like now, I can do it. No matter how much I click here, it doesn't work. Sorry for slow playing here. And now, if I press it, it goes to my time back. And I have 40 seconds. So I don't want to spend it. But I think I have used it once intentionally so far on all the coachings here. Table 3, open, nice hand. And we totally missed the flop. We have a shorty and 66. I'm going to make the c-bet. Pretty much the only way we can win the pot, so. Much rather make a half a pot c-bet than fold. And he shoves. Now we are beat. We open king, queen, jack, then. Total missed the board. Half a pot c-bet is profitable. When he calls, he probably has something. And he's not going to fold that something easily. I don't think he's ever floating with total air when there's the shorty in the hand, so he can have the pot now. And we just fold. Oh, there's some action on PLO 10. No idea who those players are. So what I have to do is I have to join the tables. See the players. There's only 2 players. Oh, now there's 3 players. What kind of players they are? Oh dear, where's my table? Okay, I'm going to keep this table. I'm going to keep it outside. Let's see what kind of table it is before I change the PLO 20 table to it. But we have some nice customers on PLO 20. VPIP 80, 80, 48, 54, 44. Wow. That's insane. Oh, should have C-bet here. And he bots it. Okay. He's a tied one. Folds 81% to C-bets. Well, the benefits of manual time bank is that you get more time. I think that's the purpose of time bank. But it's not easy to use. And for those who are watching this to Twitch, please join PokerRayMania. You can watch it live. And you can join our awesome chat. As you can see, we have a lot more action going on our own chat than on the Twitch chat. And now we just wait. And we wait. And we wait. I haven't even checked if my webcam is at the right spot. Yeah, you can see me. Would be stupid if I had aimed it too much left on too much right so you could see it just my shoulder. Well, Countess is asking that why do I need to press for the time bank? Why doesn't it start automatically? There's a lot of things about microgaming software that you can do the same question. Why not do it in a better way? And actually, pretty much every poker software besides Full Tilt and PokerStars, you can ask, why do it that way? Why not do it in a good way? And it's really strange because, I don't know, I have said it always that if I had this idea that, okay, I'm going to start up the poker room and I'm going to make it big, so I have players all over the world. And when I have all the paperwork done, I need the software. And now I have to think what kind of poker software I want to make. My answer is I want to make as good as possible. And then if I want to make good poker software, I would definitely... We have overpair and flush draw. I'm just going to call. Here on table 2, Freddy is pretty aggressive. But let's see what he does. Kind of nasty spot because he has probably ace and king high flush draws in his range. And we block queen and jack high flush draws. So the only flush draw we beat is 9 high. And 9-6 is pretty probable. The only flush we beat is 9-4. Yeah, 6-4. 9-4 is the only flush draw, or only flush we beat, so there's no value in betting here. And he had a set, and he had something totally garbage. And we win the pot. Nice. What I was talking about. Yeah, if I want to make a poker software, I would probably ask poker players what makes good poker software. But seems to me that most of these designers have never asked help from poker player. Like if I want to make... I have this idea that I'm going to make an company that makes bras for women, and as I have never used one, I have no idea what makes a good bra and what not. So before I order million bras from China, I would probably ask some women that what makes a good bra. Here are some possibilities that I like to make, which one these might work. as a bra. And then if they say that, okay, you definitely should not have this, this, and this in your bras, I would probably believe them. But as for poker softwares, like if I had that, okay, you definitely should have a waiting list. At microgaming, no, we don't need waiting list. Okay, you definitely want to have an easy time bank, or no time bank at all. No, we hide it. Small button under the table. Try to find it. Ooh, too late. Sorry. Probably floppy is king something. Yeah, I would say that the guys that are making the poker software have no idea what is a good poker software. But the ones who are deciding what software to use, they probably don't know nothing about poker, but they should know. Because that's the reason. If you don't understand the stuff you are trying to sell, then find someone who does. Here on table 4 we have a wrap. We can call. And then if he shoves the turn, we just fold. Because the board pairs. Yeah, he has aces. Or ace queen. Yeah, I know one looks good. And for those people, this software probably is nice. You can change the graphics. You can put avatars if you use the other theme. A lot of stuff that might be good, but it's like if you are making a car and it looks like Ferrari, if it doesn't work, you are not going to sell a lot of those cars. And then before we make the straight on the turn, second nuts definitely bet. And on the river, Nifson, I have no idea, so I'm going to value bet against unknown. And he has the same straight. Table 1, we have a rundown. No reason to isolate 3-bet because he's so shorty. So we just call and hope someone else comes where we can actually have value for the hand. Yeah, Paistisini says that he's always liked the software. That's why he has the name Paisti in his nickname. It's Finnish term, poker term for fish. And here this crazy guy Min donks. And he has ace king 8-8. Oh dear. It's always fun that 6BB shorty 3-bets or opens pre-flop with ace king 8-8 and hits the set. Good for him. On the outside table, I'm just going to show you update. We have 13.7 euros. We won a pot from this guy with 3-bet aces. Board was king king 10. We see bet he called. Turn goes check check on the river. We call when he bets, and he had the missed open ender. Queen jack XX. And now we wait, and we wait. Wow. This guy, is he on any other table? 22-7 beats ace. Oh, he's not in any of the tables. Too bad. I'm going to show you here. 10 cents. Yes, I'm going to call 10 cents. I'm going to call 10 cents. I'm going to open this one because it's 5-handed and we have one nitty and one fish behind it. And I'm going to just fold here. Here we flop the set. The thing is that out of position on these boards, no matter what the turn is, it's hard to play. So what I'm hoping someone has a hand that we can check raise and get value and shove the turn, or on a limped board, or yeah, limped board, it's really hard to get value for the top set anyway. So most of the value comes probably on this board, that on the river someone is going to bluff us because he thinks we don't have a full house if the board pairs, like here. And I'm going to make a really small bet and hope he raises, and he folds. Boo. So here we have the opponent 2-7 beats ace, almost 400 hands, and he's lost 9 buy-ins. So, pretty good customer. Pre-flop stat 64, 33, 25. So, pretty wild player, loses a lot of money. Here we flop the set of 5s. He calls, third is pretty bad, it completes almost everything. So I'm just going to check. Now if we call, we have 20% equity, we need to win €2. After the call it's 150. We need to get 50 cents if the board pairs. I think we can. And some of the time when the board doesn't pair, it goes check, check, and he might have a worse hand. Like now. Whee! He had 10-7-9. As we are using the new streaming software, please give feedback on the quality of the stream. If the picture is clear, if the sound is good, and so on and so on. Here, Nifson, or whatever his name is, calls us on the flop turn. Actually improves our hand a lot. Instead of bluff, we now have the value hand, and he folds. Here we have call happy player. I'm going to c-bet. If he raises, he has us beat. And if he shoves, I'm going to call him. He's going to shove a lot of hands that don't have 9 in it. 4 kind of sucks. 6-3, well, it doesn't really suck. 6-3 got there, but I don't think we have a lot of value in betting anymore. And he had the flop straight, and he slow played it and missed value. Yeah, this where you can see your hand is kind of annoying. But I'm too lazy to just close all these windows. Not much action going on. Well, OnGame had the worst software ever. Everything is good. Fine. And we hit open. As I'm on a big blind, I will call. We hit a cheap flop. And on this board I'm going to check raise because he's so tight. Shouldn't have a lot of those 8-4, 8-9 type of hands. And with that bet sizing, 95 is enough. On level 2 we are calling with set odds. Set mining, we are going to hit the set 1 out of 4 times, and these are so wide players that if we hit the set, we can probably get a nice value for it. And this guy folds as planned. Yeah, the fact is that often the regulars keep the games running. If there are no tables open, these recreational players don't want to open tables. They just find some other place where there are tables open. And mark these guys. We shouldn't have the problem with the black area at the bottom of the screen anymore. I remember to fix it before our coaching. Yeah, on-game had a good software, then they moved. I think the name for the new was B5 or something, and it was just horrible. It was so heavy that most of the computers couldn't run even 4 tables with it. And you couldn't resize the tables as much as you wanted. I remember you had to use placement to 6 table. I think you didn't have any option to resize the table, so you have this one size that fits all. So it's like, if you want to make a bra that is super heavy and you can have it only in one size. So that's about it. Oh, we have a nice hand here on table 3. Let's see if we can have action. Kidmon is tied. And here we have, well, we have a gut shot and not flush draw 3-way pot. Happy to see, but if both of them call, it's fine. If we got a 3-way all in, it's fine. And we should have a nice folding equity here. Not sure about this guy, he's such a, oh, he don't. You know you play poker too much when you have nightmares on poker software. Here I'm just going to call. No reason to 3-bet and make a big 3-way pot. You can see the flop. We miss it. Probably a spot to raise if he c-bets and he folds. If the button c-bets and small blind folds, I'm going to raise. And no reason to make a big raise. There's 180 in the pot, so I'm raising to actually 170 only. So if he folds half of his range, we make profit. And if he folds anything but two kings or aces, we make a lot of profit with that range. I haven't mentioned tilt at higher stakes. I have mentioned that I had some mental game issues earlier and at any stakes. I had these things that often, the biggest mental game leak that I had earlier is that I valued my sessions in terms of money. And it was like if I made a profit, then I thought that I had a good session. If I lost money, I thought I had a bad session. And the problem in that is that I can't affect straightly if I win or not. Like, you can't open the software and just decide that now I'm going to win money. You can play the best poker of your life and lose 10 buy-ins in 10 minutes. So it's not in your hands if you make money or not. So when I valued or estimated if I had a good session or not just by the terms of money, it created a situation where I lost money, and I always thought poker through the money. So when I lost money in session, I wanted to get even. I wanted to win the money back because I wanted to win money. I played to make money. Of course, all of us probably plays just to make money. But the difference is that if your short-term goal is to make money, you often are not making that much money. Here we make a small raise now when we actually have the trips. And he folds, too bad. So when I lost the session, or I lost a few points, I wanted to get even. Which led to that I couldn't close the software. I wanted to play more. Or if someone sucked out on me, I lost money, although I played it good, then I wanted to show him. He took my money, it's wrong. So how I fixed that through time was that I started to evaluate my game through the decisions I made. So instead of just looking at did I make a profit or not, I monitored my game that am I making good decisions or not. Here we actually make the nuts on the turn with the redraw, just bet weird. Yeah, results-oriented poker is the worst, but the thing is that most of us play for the money. But to win money, we should not think about money. So it's pretty strange. Here he raises 41-25, wild one. We have top 2 and overs. I'm going to shove on him. We are pretty much 100 pp's deep, and we block set of queens and 8s. And now he has the queens, which kind of sucks. We are drawing dead. But we know he's not the tied one. So he can definitely have worst 2 pairs, he can have draws, he can have almost anything. And the fact that when we have top 2, we are blocking queens and 8s a lot. There's only 2 queens left in the deck, and the probability of him having the both is pretty small. So against these slightly wider ones, call happy players, I'm happy to stack off. So when you're evaluating your sessions by the terms of quality of your decision making, then you don't have to worry about the money anymore. It doesn't matter if you win or lose if you know you have made some good decisions. But to achieve that, you need to be able to see and know the difference between good decision and bad decision. And if your thinking process is not good one and your decision making is not at good level, you don't know the reasons behind your decisions. So like if you have a draw and you raise on the turn because you feel like it, you don't know the exact reason why raising is better than calling or folding. You just raise because you feel like raise is good, but you don't know if it's good or not. Then you have no idea to evaluate that decision. You can't tell after the session if that raise was good or not. On table 3 we pick up the wrap here and he checks the flop, so I'm going to bet the third and I'm going to bet the river. And let's see if he folds his overpair. At least he thinks about it. And he had runner straight. Oh, bummer. Yeah, poker is a funny game. You can play perfect poker and lose a shitload of money. And you can play pretty bad poker and win shitloads of money. So if you just value your game by the profit, it means that it's going to be hard. Because in PLO, you will have 20 buy-in downswings, even more. You just can't avoid that. And every time if you lose 20 buy-ins in a session, you think you are having a bad session. You will have those bad sessions. And it's out of your control. You are going to have those losing sessions. So if you think that if you lose 20 buy-ins, it's going to make you sad, it's going to make you angry, then there's no way you can prevent yourself from being sad or angry. But if you value your game to the level of your decision making, then you can achieve a point where you are not having bad sessions at all. So you don't have to be angry about poker. You don't have to be sad about poker anymore. You can just be neutral or happy. So the thing is that most poker players have a lot of negative emotions when they are playing and grinding. But you don't have to have. It's just the perspective that you are looking at things. He just caught us bluffing, so I'm not going to bluff him straight away. Yeah, he has a hand probably. Here he calls the I'm going to bet the turn. He shouldn't have deuces that often. And he calls. Wow. 4 is bad because if he has ace 5, 5, 6 or something. But let's see what he has. Aces. Ace 4. Wow. Yeah, you can also be a bad player and lose a lot of money. That's possible too. But I would say that if you find that while playing poker you have negative emotions, poker sometimes makes you sad, it sometimes makes you angry, then think of the reasons why that is. What causes the negative emotions in the first place? Tilt itself doesn't cause any emotions. It's just an outcome, but it's not the cause. Often the money and thinking poker through money is the reason. Like, if you lose 500 BB pot to a cut shot or something like that, or it's a setup and you lose, or you lose 500 BB flip, you lose it, and if you think poker through money, it makes you angry, it makes you sad, at least a tiny bit, because you lost a lot of money. And that will happen. But if you just evaluate the hand through the level of your decision and you make a good decision, the outcome doesn't matter. You know you made a good decision, you are happy about the hand, and you move on to the next hand. Now there's a question that I really have to read to understand. Ink tracker, I have never used ink tracker, so I don't know. How do you can note tracker tell you exact hand in position, out position, 3-bet? You mean this stuff that makes automatic notes of 3-bets? You can find that. I'm going to shove my jacks here. They are both shorties, so I think we can take the 3-way flip here. It's somewhere aces and queens and everything, and we make the straight. Woo! Poker is nice. How much we have equity here? 21, almost enough. So if you go to the insiders section, I think it's insiders section, not sure, and you just search for all the threads that are started by me, in the really beginning you can actually find a thread where you have links to these custom stats or notes. I don't know even what their name is, but yeah, you can find it in our forum, and it's really useful. So by sticking here, you have good approach to poker in my mind, because it means that you don't have to get mad for poker. And he raises, wow, that looks like a straight a lot. Flop 21. I'm going to fold because he might have a bigger flush draw and we are just screwed. Yeah, and the fact is that you want to get big stacks in against 2-outer. That's what you want in poker. You don't want to make 50-50 flips, or you don't want to make setups, set versus sets. You want the opponent to stack off with 1 or 2-outer. So when that happens, you should be really happy. You should be dancing outside your house, yelling to the neighbors. But instead, I mean, 2-outer is going to hit almost 1 out of 10 times. So if every time you break something, you will have a lot of broken stuff. Like, set versus set, opponent has 1 out, it's going to hit 1 out of 20 times. So if you are playing PLO 8 tables 4 hours a day, you will have those 1-outers like 2 or 3 times a day. And if every time you break something, you will have 15 broken things after 1 week. When you play a month, you will have like 1 warehouse full of broken stuff. So don't break things. Here I'm going to stack off against either one. Might have even bet for a pot here. Doesn't really matter, and we shove any turn. Because the range is so wide that, yeah, 6 completes 5-4, but they have so much that I'm not going to slow play anymore. Just get it in, and he has what he has, 8-3-4. Yeah, he had 1 pair and cut shot or something. Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but long run is really long run. The sad thing that, especially in PLO, the long run might be bigger one that one can play in his lifetime. Like if the long run is 200,000 hands, someone who 2 tables, it's going to take many years to get 200,000 hands. So he might be playing his whole life good poker and lose a lot of money because of variance. But yeah, most of the people don't understand variance. And the biggest misunderstood thing in poker is probably the EV line on Poker Tracker and Hold'em Manager. Here, if we 3-bet, we get 180, shorty, biggie. I'm going to 3-bet it. Probably going to give us a sort of tough decisions on the flop, but if they all call, we have an SPR1, so if we hit any piece of the board, we can stack off easily. The EV line is so misunderstood that it actually makes me angry some of the times. People just don't understand what the heck that line is. Here we get 3-bet from fellow Finnish fish. And this flop is bad. Wow. And yeah, we can, because if he has any flush draw, he's just going to take the flip here. And here we make the flush, we have the nut blocker. And we have the cut shot. Oh, it's so close. If they have 2 pairs, they are probably not folding. Ah. Oh. Nasty spot because there's not much we can do. If they have 2 pairs, not sure if they even fold the river. But we win with pair of aces, which is strange. Ace, king, 10, 8, wow. Nice limp call. Here, this guy min donks. I'm going to raise him. It might be a trap, but I have to see if that min donk is a trap. Oh, it's a trap. He limp calls. I'm going to make a note. Mini donk calls ace a6. He probably has the ace, for sure. I'm gonna call once. Because if he doesn't have ace, he's going to slow down on the turn, which he does. And then we can check back. And he didn't have it. Impact Point doesn't understand the EV line. People think that, or I don't even know what most of the people think, but people think that EV line shows the absolute expected value. And the better word is all-in adjusted winnings that actually Poker Tracker is using. It just shows you what your winnings would be if at all-in situations you divide the pot during, by the equities you have. Like if there's 34 cards left on the turn, if you run the river 34 times, you win the exact amount from the pot that your equity is. So it just shows you how much you would have won if there's no luck element in all-in situations. But it can't tell you anything about the other EV, like how bad you have run with your pre-flop hands and how often you have run against the top of your opponent range or bottom. So I hope this friend here makes some kind of raise. Oh, he knows I'm c-betting that board with my whole range. Now I had the nuts. One good way to accept and understand variance, or I think a lot of people actually understand variance, but they just can't accept it. Like they know, yeah, there's variance, but when the variance hits them, they get mad or angry, so they don't actually accept it. I'm going to just call here, because I have raised him in the past, so I don't want to make the same line every time. So I'm going to raise the turn. Or if he checks, I'm going to bet. So one good way to accept and understand variance is if you think and find a reason why suck outs are good for poker. It really helps you. People always say that, oh, he hit too loud, or I hate. I wish there wouldn't be any suck outs. Well, imagine what the poker would be if you couldn't suck out. Like, every time when the money goes in, you get all in pre-flop, flop, or turn. You get all in, the board would not be dealt. You just split the pot according to your hand equities. Like if you go pre-flop all in, there wouldn't be any flop turn river, you just split the pot with your pre-flop equities. And think, what would that do to poker? So if you really think you actually understand why we need suck out on poker, that's the only way we can make money, because if you can't suck out anyone, then it means that worse player, it would be really hard for him to win money from the better player. It means that recreational players wouldn't win that much. And that's why they keep coming to tables and lose that same money every time. Because they have sometimes won. It's like why people play slot machines. Because you can win. But if we change the slot machine, that it doesn't give you winnings. It's every time when you win, you just get 95% of your money back. People wouldn't play those that much. I think some people would play, but if you always get 95 cents, when you play for €1, you win 95 cents or 90 cents or 85 cents. And you can't just win even over €1. I think people wouldn't play it that much anymore. And same in poker. When the fish wins a big pot with a cut shot, he's happy, he won money. So that's why he comes to the table to play again, because he might win. He knows that he's probably not making millions over the years, but any given day he can win money. Table 4, just make a c-bet, give him an opportunity to fold, and we have the top pair, which is nice, but if he raises, we are happy to fold. He checks, our hand improves, so we definitely bet here. We don't make the straight, we have just the blockers, but when we don't bet the flop, we can't represent much. And what he does, he raises us. Oh dear. He's representing 3-4. And he might have it. But he's a shorty. Oh, I'm not going to make a hero shove. But poker is, it's hard with the strategy aspect and it's hard with the mental aspect. And to be successful in poker, you need to be good in both. He has never folded his big blind to small blind open, actually. Wow. He's sort of tied one. Well, he's not tied one anymore. What has happened? First 300 hands or 370 hands, he was pretty nitty, but now he's loosened up. So he might have... How do I... Yeah, now, this way. I'm just going to barrel the seat out of him. Yeah, I was saying that I really loved the poker show 2 Months, 2 Millions, where those guys were renting a house in Las Vegas and just grinded there. They had this tilt room. That the room was covered in plastic and the room was full of things to break. There was watermelons and some toys, and they had these baseball bats. And when they had a really nasty downswing, they just went to the room and broke everything. It was so funny. Here on demo 2, I'm going to isolate 3-bet these red dollars. And he 4-bets. He has 4-bet aces, so we know he has aces, so it's pretty easy call. And see if we hit the flop, we do. And we need 35% and we have that, so we stack off here and rest this up to variance. And he has aces, no flush draw, so we are in a decent shape and we suck out. But 33, he had 67 on the flop, but that situation is like, when we 3-bet, it's pretty standard. His 4-bet is standard, flop stack of his standard, so it's kind of set up. Of course, it sounds funny because we have a rundown, he has aces, how can it be a setup? But it's like aces and kings in hold'em. Money just goes in and either one wins. Someday he has the rundown, I have the aces, same thing happens and it evens out. So these kind of situations are not the ones where we make profit. And if you had aces and you 4-bet flop is that someone calls with pair and live cards and sucks out, don't be mad. Because he didn't win money in the long run, you don't win money in the long run, it's just a setup. And it will even out. Those are not the situations that affect your win rate. So it doesn't really matter who wins the pot in the long run. Danita said interesting thing that for him the big upswing is scary because he knows that the downswing will come, and that's one kind of mental game error or tilting. Probably tilting is the word, but it's like you are afraid to play because you think that your luck will turn out because you know that in the long run it will change. But luck has no memory. Here I have to call, and then on the river it's kind of tricky because if he bets it either an ace of diamonds or higher flush. If he has 7 or 9 high flush, he's not going to bet it on the river. But when he's thinking this long, he might be tricking me. Oh dear. If he waited that long just to make it look like he has a tough decision, I have to give him credit. But I can't vote against him. And he had a 9 high flush. I really thought he wouldn't bet it. I don't know why he bets, because it's really hard for him to make a better hand to fold. And here he bets turn. We have the overpair flush draw and actually the cut shot, so I'm just going to call. And $1, oh, I have to call. He had a straight, wow. And the trips. And I'm going to just make a note that small bet was small hand. I hate these. And I write that small bet is straight on paired board because it tells me that his small bet sizing was a weakish hand on that board. Kind of hand that he doesn't even know if he's value betting or bluffing. And he had actually trips on paired boards. Are there any other PLO 10 tables open? There's one. I'm going to close this one. I don't want to be out of position to this guy. No offense. But it's just not that profitable, and the rest of the table is neat and regular, so it's not even profitable probably to play on this table. And Media is asking for the same thing, these automatic notes. So if someone can find the thread, or I would say that, did Arnimetsa post it to here yet? No. Oh, it's in there. No. So I would say that don't post the address on this public chat. Oh, we flopped the nuts. Because, oh, actually you can post the link because it doesn't show. I just wanted that the link to the files is just for PokerEye Mania members. So no one can just copy the address on YouTube or Twitch. Well, as it doesn't show for address, it's not a problem. And he bets the flop. I need to raise. Because if I call, I check the turn, he checks with his value. So, and I don't raise for pot. I want him to, like, just get it in with two pairs or that kind of stuff. Just make something stupid. And he calls, which is nice. Now we can actually pot the turn. And PLO 20 is not that good one anymore, so I'm going to actually close that one too. I can find the thread and make a post so it goes up. It's on the Finnish forum. But I can actually post, I can make a reply on the Finnish thread so it goes up, and then I can post the same threads to our English side. Here he calls, he always calls. It's now probably out of 7 hands he has called every one of those. and he has never folded the flop. So I'm going to value bet the river with 2 pairs. And he has a straight. Oh, that is so sick. Ace 8, 8, 4. So he's calling with any 4 pre-flop and he just makes the straight. Why doesn't he raise when he has the blockers even to the straight? Wow. But I'm going to make a note so I know. Doesn't fold. BB versus. And now we make the nuts once again. And no accent. And he hasn't folded flop at once, so he's folding a lot. So if we want to open against him, we have to barrel a lot. Here's one PLO, then there was thinking about closing the table 3 because it has gone pretty bad. He has position on us, then there's the Zlatan, regular, Tidy went out. So it's not that profitable anymore. So I'm changing it to another one where we have 4 fishes on the table. Table 2. We flop the trips. And versus this guy, I'm definitely calling here. Here we can a 4-bet. And he shoves. We can't go. Plan was on table 4 to bluff him away from his flush draw, but he had 2 pairs. On table 2, I just think that can he shove weaker trips, but I don't think he can. He has the nuts so often. Okay, I have the link on my Skype, great. Here, he raises almost like a min raise, 75 cents. So I'm going to call it. We have the odds if we make the straight. And some of the time flush completes, it goes check check, we get a free river. Some of the time we pick up the spades and can call if he bets. So like now we get a free river but don't hit it. If he has a set, he's not folding it, so. And he had the straight himself. Top 2 and open ender, wow. Bacon burger. Where did you find the bacon burger? I'm going to keep these 4 tables for the 15 minutes and then we can close the session. Let's see if we can pick up something interesting. But this one is good customer. Thank you. He's an aggressive. Well, yeah, he is. 63, 32, 23. Not sure why he has wide stat and he has lost a lot. 150 BBs per 100 hands so far. Yeah, it's nice we have 2 streams, so if Twitch is not working, you can watch our own. Table 1 is bad. Or I shouldn't say bad, but not a good, really good and juicy one. There are 3 regulars. The fish is sitting out, and this don't let it is the only one that might become a good customer. And on the turn, the king 10 completes. And he donks for a pot, or less than a pot. I actually think that he's going to have the straight quite often, so before I have a reason to believe that he's doing that with gloves too, I'm just happy to fold. And if he had a straight, he made a minus EV call on the flop, which means that I make profit. Playable hand on table 4. He's a good customer. Damn, my mouse is not working. Try to open for 30 cents, but there are a couple of shorties, so it doesn't really matter. And we flop top 2. And let's just bet. And river, if he checks, we check behind, because there's not much value anymore. And he has same hand. Ace 10. And Jausa is kind of break-even-ish. Won slightly, but he is all in adjusted winnings is minus 60 BBs out of 600 hands, so when he's playing short stack, he's break-even. So he's probably making small profit with red back or bonuses, but short stack 30-10-2. Well, with his chosen playstyle, he cannot make profit. Short stacking with those stats, he's just not going to make profit, so why waste time on poker? Yeah, if you're not a winning player, it doesn't matter, but when you choose to play in a way that you just can't make money, no matter how good you are, you're not going to make money with these 40 BB stacks that he starts at a PLO 10 where the rate is so high. So he cannot make profit, so why play? Why not try to earn 100 BB stack play where you can actually make money? So strange. Yes, nice for you, Danny, that you stop by, and it might be that as this was your first time with a Byte share, it might be that you made profit today. Because I think at the moment we are making profit. Of course, I'm not sure. And it's kind of funny, for the last hour I have thought like why you shouldn't think poker in terms of profit or losses. And then after each coaching I'm just ranting about did we make a profit or not. But it's different. Normally I wouldn't say I never care for the profits, but most of the time I try not to care about the profit. But as these are shared crowd funds that we have on the play, of course people like to know if we made profit or not, because it's their investment. Oh, there's going to be public private coaching. If we have public private coachings, do we ever have private public coachings? Here he don't have, but we have a cut shot, 2 pairs and a flush draw. Let's just call and see how the hand goes on. Now we have 3 pairs, flush draw and a cut shot. You don't have that on Hold'em. That's why PLO is awesome. You can have 4 pairs. And we make the flush. We have the 3rd nuts. So of course we bet and hope he calls with the set, and he folds. Bummer. So do we have any private public coachings? That would be nice. If you want to have a private public coaching, just let me know. I can give you one. Well, I actually think that in terms of value, PokerMania's public private coachings have pretty surely the best value in the internet. We have pretty cheap coaching compared to the level of coaches we have, and when you get even more discount when it's public, then it's really nice value. We have monsters on table 4. Here on table 3, of course, we're going to call when regular opens. And when he checks, he's either check folding or check calling with overpair. So I'm going to bet. He calls, so he probably has overpair. So, oh, what we did, we limped with aces. What a misclick. Crap. Should we bet here? I think we can bet here. If he has kings, queens, he's going to fold. Or a flush draw. And he folds. I think when he check calls, he doesn't have full house with that line ever. So we have nice folding equity. That's one way to reduce your win rate. Just limp your monsters. Ace 9-7 double suited. Sucks. Trips versus top pair, and he makes the 2 outer. It's always so fun. Another monster. Let's see if I can raise it this time. And we have the friend. I'm going to make it. I hope this guy wouldn't have called, because when I raise to 90 cents, he's going to shove any kings he might shove any rundown, because he knows that my 3-bet range is so wide. Here we have 2 backdoor flush draws, backdoor straight draw, and overpair probably can't fold even if he shoves, because king 8 deuce is so dry. He shouldn't have that many king 8s or any 2 pairs in his hand or in his range. So he's representing a set here, and I just don't believe that he has set always. Of course now he probably has, yes. And he makes the straight. So he had kings this time, but he can have any king that he's raising for bluff, and we don't know. We don't have information for him, so we have to play by the average. He has donk half of the time, so I'm raising him as a bluff. He has donk 55% with decent sample size, so he's donking a lot. And he calls, and we actually improve our hand, so I'm going to check back here. And on the river, then we have to think about bluff catching, because now he knows we don't have a jack 10. And let's check and see if the ace is good enough. No, he has 2 pairs ace king. Yep. But I think his call on the flop with just the top pair is, I don't like it. His hand is not going to improve a lot by the river. Did he have some? How can I see? Oh, he had top 2. Oh dear. And slow played it. I'm going to call this guy's bet. And let's just do the same thing over and over again. If he keeps folding these flops, then that's just making money. Turn, we pick up the cut shot and the flush draw. Good card to barrel. And now he raises. This is kind of strange, but he probably has something. We can argue about calling with the flush draw and the cut shot, but going to be pretty close. Screen is freezing. I don't have any drop frames, so from my end it should be okay. Here on demo 2, I call with pocket jacks, because on a 4-way pot I think we can set mine, and then we flop the world. We have the top set and open ender and backdoor flush draw, so we have everything on this board. Too bad the board is so dry that we are probably not going to get value. Oh, he bets big. Now I hope he folds. I hope he folds, please. Oh dear. Because if he folds, we can raise, and it looks like a bluff, because this board is really good to bet as a bluff. But when he calls, now Soul Sweep knows that when we raise, we have a value hand. So, but let's hope that we can get action from this one. Oh, he probably has a set of fours. Why would he think that long? Or some kind of wrap. And they both fold. Wow. Strange. One option would be to slow play there, when we don't have to be afraid of almost any turn. But when he calls big bet, he probably has something, so he shouldn't be folding that something, which he actually did. But if this Pimenman folds Jack 4-3, Rainbow is so dry board that one big too small card is great to raise as a bluff. So if I make that small raise against him, he might actually think that yeah, I'm bluffing, so he can shove with quite wide range there. But this player ruined our plan for the second time, and he doesn't give us action, so he is pretty annoying person. Minimizes our value when we have great spots to make bluffs. But yeah, I think that now we are going to start the last orbits after the next big blind. And let's see if we end up in profit or not. I know the current situation, but I have no idea of the EV. I think that my estimation is that we are running over EV because we won 30 euros in PLO 20, and the big pot came from 33% equity, where we suck out on the ACs. And we pick up the trips. 15.48. I think I get better value by betting this one. And we get one call from the calling station. Woo! And he raises. Oh, I'm going to shove. He made the same raise when there was two deuces on the table. So it has happened before, and he has the nuts. How sick is that? Well, of course. 58-1, you're going to hit the nuts all the time. But it's exactly the same situation where there was trip deuces and we actually had a deuce in our hand. There was this, was it? Yeah, it was jack deuce deuce, and we have ace deuce in our hand. Flop goes call, and on the turn he raises over a bet. So he just might be super lucky, but he's a shorty, so I don't mind our stack off. Of course, now we had only one out, so it's not that great. But if he has a full house, we can something like 5 outs or 6 outs. $0.40, and we have only 9 high flush draws, so we fold. Okay, I'm going to start the last orbits here. Nice hand on table 1. Good evening to Mr. Opium. We are just about to finish the session. And he folds to our 3-bet, which is kind of shit-ish. I'm going to call. First hand he plays out of 5 hands while shorty. I don't want to 3-bet him, and now this guy 3-bets. Okay. Let's see what these people do. And of course we call the 3-bet and we flop the nuts. And here we have a big 3-bet. If we call, we get probably 2 calls behind, so I think we can send mine. And now we have the quads. I hope he has aces, because it's the only hand that can give value for us, and he folds. Bummer. And of course we are going to call this one. His range is so wide. And if anyone raises, we just fold. And now I know how much we made profit or losses today. Let's wait for the last hand so I can show you. And we wait. Decent hand on table 4. Let's open it. Let's see what happens. We get 2 calls and the flop is monotone. And we have 1 ace in our hand, so pretty standard half a pot c-bet. We actually have 2 pairs. He has raised once and he has raised once, so it's not big enough sample size to think they would raise this as a bluff. If one of the opponent is more tricky opponent who can easily raise these monotone boards as a bluff, then our 2 pair hand is good to either check back or bet call. But against trickier opponents, more aggressive ones, don't bet fold with 2 pairs. And we shouldn't be playing any more hands, but as I thought, in microgaming you can actually skip big blind, which shouldn't be possible, but it is. So after we close this table, I can show you the results. If this hand ever finishes. I'm actually going to show you anyway. Here's the graph for today. Up, down, and in EV. We had a good start, up 30, and then boom, 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 boom. Losing these $10 stacks here, here, and here. So, at the money in a really bad shape. One was the aces on King 8 deuce board, and sort of unknown. And then where these? Yeah, trips versus full house was here at some point, and so on. So, not sure if we could have done anything different. Of course, the aces hand is one that you can argue about, but it's such a good board to check raise any King XXX hand. That with that SPR, I think we can stack off. And the actual precise results are here: $8.47. PLO 10, pretty bad. PLO 20, we ran high up OEV because of the one pot. But small profit is better than big losses. That's what they say. So this was Wednesday's PLO night with me. I'm Kyyberi, and this was brought to you by PokerEyeMania.com. If you are watching this on Twitch, join us. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can still join us. Hope to see you next Wednesday. This week we don't have the Friday finish coaching because I'm having my Easter holiday. So the next coaching is on next Wednesday in English. So see you all on next Wednesday. Now we end with our awesome video. Thanks and bye bye.